Thank you. I'm Angela with Queen Bee Latina. I'm so excited to talk to you both. I watched the film last night. It was really, really good. So funny. You were both brilliant in it. So I feel really old right now, but I'm heading towards my 30th reunion in August, and I couldn't help to think about all the different personalities because, they were stereotypical, but they were super relatable. And so my first question is, could you relate to the character you played, or did you relate to any of the other characters back in the day, when you were in high school, personality-wise?
Rel,
It's
do you want to
interesting.
begin?
I related to my character a lot just because of, some of the style choices, because that was around the time
Yeah.
I was in high school. But also like I loved all the different like Jillian's character probably may be my favorite character was
Mhm.
Jillian Bell because Jillian was like so funny and so awkward and so like you could tell her character was planning all this stuff the whole time to do and nobody cared. Only she cared, and it was so funny the way she was delivering all that stuff. Same thing with Nina. I relate to everybody's character, to be quite honest with you. Even Michael's, being the teacher and without giving anything away, you understand his reasoning why he was really upset and irritated, which makes this movie great because anybody could have did it based off what Chase character kind of did everybody.
Yes, everybody has a reason for murder. And Angela, when you go to your reunion, please don't murder anybody.
I'll try not to.
No,
No,
you
I
can trip them or throw a drink in their face, but after that, maybe key their car, but no
that's
murder.
okay. I'll try my best. Although there were a couple people that weren't very nice that I can see why Jillian was a little like so angry. We all had that resentment towards the people that weren't nice to us.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah. So my next question, and this is for either one of you, whoever wants to start first, but switching between humor and suspense can be tricky. What techniques did you use to navigate these shifts seamlessly? Ugh, seamlessly.
Well, I had a little pin, a little safety pin. I just jabbed myself every time we had to switch, and it worked really well. No, I didn't really. I just think it's part of our characters. When you play comedy, you're playing it. At least for me, Ral, I assume you're the same way. What's happening to us, we don't think is funny.
Yeah.
So, the characters' traits are funny, but in the story itself, everything is serious. I think that's how I go about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the realer you are, it helps with the comedy, especially if you're honest about who your characters are. And then when you kind of mixing in the murder mystery stuff, because it was a lot of conversations after most shoot days when we were going through the next stuff we had to do the next day. Just to make sure we still had that line was perfect, where we didn't give too much away. We had to be kind of careful even with some of the jokes because you don't want to say anything that could throw off the whole thing. So it was a lot of real conversations, literally every shoot day afterwards about like just kind of finding that line. Just even when we got towards the end of the movie, we went through a couple different versions of what that is. But those are great discussions. So it was a really good collaboratory process that honestly, producing this along with Jillian and Billy helped a lot because we really kind of did a great job of like if we
Yeah,
saw
you guys were
something,
really hands-on and it
yeah,
really helped. And there was a nice discussion with the director always with how, so we got to improvise a lot and
yeah,
it was very nice.
Well, it was really well done because it did leave a lot of questions. And in our minds, we kept thinking as viewers, like, okay, I can see why this person would want to do it, or this person, like every single person had a reason that they could, want to. Obviously, that's not normal, but, have this kind of reaction. So high school reunions bring up a lot of nostalgia. How did you draw personal experiences and authenticity to your performances?
I mean, I was always the nerd in high school. So when I've gone back, it is weird because you're going like, oh, you hated me, you hated me, you hated me. Oh, you kind of like me. And so I just kind of got into that emotion of like all these people and everyone back then, especially, you're young, you're immature, everyone's kind of a jerk. So I kind of drew on that. And because I played a teacher that no one liked, I also remembered teachers that no one liked and tried to draw on them.
And then for me, I think the most important thing, which was interesting about my character, is being that guy that like feel like they haven't really accomplished anything, right? And so like some people do use those reunions as a moment to make up for whatever they done in their life. Either they making stuff up or either they can't just get away from the past. Like I always laugh at now. Like I got like friends to this day that still can remember things that happened at homeroom. And I'm like, bruh, that's I do not remember that. And so it's interesting having like what I loved about my character was he was still living in the past because that's all he really had because his present hasn't been that great. So I was just drawing that and just that's not necessarily my life, but I mean I wasn't like Mr. Popular or nothing, but I do enjoy coming back successful.
That's funny. Yeah, that is really, really cool to be able to go back to your reunion and be like, hey, look at who I am now. But if you both could go back and tell your younger self, or give your younger self advice during high school, what would it be? What would you tell? Because that does come up in the film, and I think it was Jillian, right? That she said she asked herself, what would you advice or would you tell your younger self?
What I would tell my younger self is just not to take high school so serious. Like life gets so much better when you get out of high school. And it's so funny because when you that age, because I have teenagers now, and telling them like I'm telling y'all, it's gonna be so much better when you get out of here. Just get out. Just graduate. I promise you life gets better. It's not just about high school, but it's interesting where like, it is people who their whole life was high school.
Right.
And but I would tell my younger self, like, man, don't sweat it. It's gonna get so much better.
Right.
I agree with everything you're saying. And I think I'd also add that, like, you learn later, I would say to my younger self, hey, everybody's going through something. You may think their life is perfect, but they're
Mhm.
going through something. You just don't know what it is.
Yeah, agreed. Well, congratulations, gentlemen. This has been so much fun, and I really appreciate you taking your time today, this Monday morning.
Well, thank you, Angela.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.